So here's a sentence I've never said before. Let's talk about Spam. I'm talking about the meat. It's been around since 1937. It's hugely popular in some places, and now due to the pandemic, it has become a pantry staple. Spam sales grew more than 70% since the COVID-19 pandemic began in March. So Chef Sang Kim is here to broaden all of our horizons with a little history on Spam and his very own Spam Army-based stew recipe. I'm looking forward to this. Good morning, Chef. Nice to see you.
Good morning, Lindsey. How are you?
I'm great. Okay, so tell us about Spam. Tell us about the history of Spam.
Well, you know what? First of all, there's two really civilized hoarding tendencies in human beings when there's a crisis like a pandemic or a war. One is toilet paper and the other is Spam. Sometimes they go together. But Spam, as it evolved out of Korea, happened during the Korean Civil War from 1950 to 1953. And what happened during that time, of course, was that, you know, it was a war-stricken, poverty-stricken country, and people had no real proteins to access, except around the American Army bases. And, of course, that's where people were able to pick up scraps from food rations that came out of Hormel in these Spam containers. And of course, it became a thing that Koreans, being incredibly innovative from a culinary standpoint, decided to make an incredible dish out of. And that's where Army stew or pudetjigae came from during that time.
That's very cool. And is it true to this day, boxes of Spam are gifted to loved ones?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, it really started in the 80s when Korea started to really rise up as an economic power. You know, there was only so many chickens to go around as the country was becoming increasingly more urbanized. You couldn't be running around like Rocky chasing chickens in the yard. So what did you do? You went to department stores, and, of course, everything from deer antlers to abalone to cans of Spam in beautiful gift boxes was what was available. And, of course, that's what you brought to your parents or your relatives during Chuseok, which is the Korean Lunar Thanksgiving.
All right, so, Chef, you're going to show us what goes into the famous Army-based stew. Walk me through how to make this. Okay,
so it's a stew. We live in a stew culture, Korea, as well as Canada. I've had to start some of this, Lindsey, because it's a process. But basically, the stock is a chicken stock. You need to get a lot of chicken stock in there. And, of course, there's some real critical staple ingredients, including gochujang, which is a chili paste, gochugaru, which is a chili flake, and then kimchi, of course. You can't have pudetjigae without kimchi. Soft tofu, 3 different kinds of mushrooms, and then, of course, the Americanized thing, which is Spam, there's Viennese sausage, and, of course, processed cheese. And so what I'm going to do to finish this thing off, because it's got all of that stuff simmering in that beautiful broth, is I'm going to put instant ramen in there, okay? And then I'm going to put, believe it or not, cheddar cheese. Now, this is not a particular advent that I enjoy in my military or Army-based stew, but it seems to work for a lot of people, okay? So I'm just going to mix this around, and you got yourself, after a few minutes, an incredibly vibrant, tasty, robust, very, very spicy stew.
Wow.
I don't know if you're a big stew fan, Lindsey.
I am, actually. I love anything stew, slow cook, the whole array. I mean, that looks, I want to try it. I need to try this thing. I mean, Spam, Chef, this was great. Thank you. Nice to see you, as always. Unfortunately, we're out of time.
You too,
but thanks so much.
I'll send you some.
Would you? Okay, I'm up. I want to try it. All right, thanks so much.
Spam lasts a long time.
It does. That's what I hear.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.